I would just say outlast everybody. Just like a lot of people have made it to the top just by outlasting everybody. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the funniest. Just outlast everybody. It's an endurance. It's an endurance game. And
All right, what is going on? We've got an exciting podcast planned today, and this guy, he brings the energy. He has been crushing it in solar. He's got his hands in multiple businesses as well. So we've got the one, the only Brandon Patillo, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, Brandon Patillo, yeah. Okay. So he
Patillo.
is, yeah. Excited to have you, my man. And this guy, he is crushing it. He is the founder of an organization called Solar Boys, and then also House Builder. He's going to tell us all about what some of the unique things his organizations have been doing. And most importantly, though, this guy brings the energy. I mean, I can already tell it's going to be an entertaining podcast. Just the short conversation we had before starting the show here. This guy, he definitely can keep you entertained, bring some good energy. So thanks for coming on the show with us today, Brandon.
Hey, no, I appreciate you having me. We appreciate the opportunity, and you've been doing great things in the space, and we're excited to get the Willy Wonka golden ticket and get chosen for the podcast.
That's right. That's right. And even though he just told me before we started the show that he's going to be coming down and hitting San Diego, my home turf here. So I'm going to be gearing up because his guys, they're probably going to be knocking my door in the next couple of weeks. So I've got to gear up for these Solar Boys coming around.
We don't want to step on toes. We want to share the space. We want to just play Fortnite with you in your market. That's it. But you could come to our market as well, and you let us know where to go, and we'll make sure we get a hall pass from you. That's as long as you give it. That's
Hey, we share. We're not afraid. And we hit. He's up in LA, so we hit up around there too. So I know you'll welcome me. You'll give me the hall pass when we want to go up there too. So that's what it's all about, collaborating, man. We need more of that in the industry. So that's good, man.
You need the unlimited pass, man. So it's the Disneyland pass with no blockout days. So you can come as much as you want, man. You're good to go. We're gonna send you, in the places to go and make a lot of money. But we appreciate everything. We appreciate again just the opportunity to jump on this podcast with you and even to go to your market, man. And I know how it is. Like when somebody comes to Los Angeles, like go back. But at the same time, we're like, no, man, come. Like we want you to be successful. We want you to have fun. We want to show you all the magic tricks in the market so you can be successful. Because there's this phrase like, "I'll be successful as I help others become successful." That's really the magic sauce.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I've seen people grow way more by having like that abundance mentality rather than I think in the past there's way more people will get defensive over you coming to their market and they didn't want any of that. It was all secretive and everything. But I mean, it's like, I think as you have the abundance mentality, there's going to be good karma coming your way. And it's like there's deals for everybody. One person that might not connect with me, maybe is going to connect with you and vice versa, right? So I think there's deals for everybody. And we shouldn't be, maybe we're not going to tell you where the exact area I'm knocking this week, right? But it's like, exactly. I'll give you the ins and outs on San Diego and come on by. So
I love it, man.
I
love it. It's funny. I have kids, and when my kids and their friends come over, like I give my kids the Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I give them the best ice cream, and then their friends, I give them the Ralph's version of the vanilla, right? It's like everybody gets ice cream, but they don't get the Haagen-Dazs version. So it's kind of the same thing, I love the abundance mentality as well. And you know what? I've seen that when you like show love and you help somebody become successful in the market, it's just hard to forget that when it's the other way around, when it's reciprocated. It's just like, you know what? Like you show me love when it's time to get shown love, like that alley-oop of love is coming our way. So yeah, man, it's always great to establish great joint ventures and JVs with certain people in the space that are winners. And so that's why we're grateful to be here with you.
Yeah. Of course, man. Love it. So let's get into your past, how you started the Solar Boy. I know you talked a little bit about this before we started recording, so you might have to repeat a few things here for our audience. But do you want to give the listeners just your background, Brandon, like how you started a house builder, Solar Boy? I know you're doing some online marketing stuff. So you want to give us the background on all the ventures you got going on right now?
Absolutely. So I'll give you guys a 3,000-foot flyover. Like, the airplane is 3,000 foot. You kind of get a global view. But yeah, no, my name is Brandon
Sweet.
Patillo, and they call me, my alter ego is Solar Boy. And yeah, man, I've been doing solar for, wow, I started in 2014. And so prior to solar, I was knocking on doors doing fiber optic sales for a big national company that was owned by Golden Gate Capital. And at the time, the product that we were selling was fiber optics. It was Fios, Verizon Fios. And this was a time when, you know, internet speed didn't have to be so fast because there wasn't very many devices. It was the idea of like soon everybody's going to be streaming, soon everybody's going to be on the X. You know, it was just kind of a future like type of concept. So we were knocking on doors, telling people to jump ship, and to move from DSL to FiOS, and it was great. It was a great opportunity to be able to like kind of open and close the deal on the spot. The challenge at the time, it was just a low ticket item, but you start to realize that sometimes when you make a little money, you do a lot of volume. So if you make 100, $200 a sale, you're able to do 15, 18 sales a week. Then, when you make 1,000, 2,000 a sale, you do a fewer sales. Just kind of that law of the lid idea. So anyways, got elected to go to a company trip in the Bahamas. And this is 2014. And right before I jumped into solar, I was there with all the heavyweights from across the country. And I was on the West Coast, so I was representing my city. And then they're like, "Man, you're out here selling cable, like you're crushing it. Why aren't you selling solar?" And I was like, "Man, solar's the devil." And they looked at me and they was like, "Man, well, the devil must wear Prada." It was like, because if you sell solar, like it's the same exact thing that we're doing, but we're making like triple the money. I'm like, cap. And then he was like, "No, like I'm gonna fly out." My boy from Manhattan, his name was Justin Garner. He was like, "I'm gonna fly out to LA and let's go cook." I'm all right. So he ends up flying out, and this is 2014. We partnered with a small company. Well, actually, they were big, but they were owned by the same conglomerate that we were worked at, because we worked for a company called 2020s, and they were owned by Golden Gate Capital. And Golden Gate Capital, they owned a company named Solcius. And so we ended up going to work with this company called Solcius in 2014. And yeah, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna make like you make 3, 4, 5, $6,000 a sale. We use this finance product called CPF Finance, form now known as Spruce." And this, we didn't understand anything. They was just like, "We're just gonna go out there and go blitz and have some fun." So all right, so we go out there and we don't really know what we're doing. We just start knocking, and then we're like, "Hey, we just want to Airbnb your roof." Because we were selling PPAs, and this was in 2014. We're like, "Man, can we Airbnb your roof?" And they were like, "Yeah." We're like, "For real? Okay." Like, we didn't even know what we were doing, but we were just out there just crossing people over, telling people to like, "Hey, let us borrow your roof to get some energy." And we would have customers that would actually say yes. And then I remember once we sold a deal, it was a two-touch, right? We did the setter closer model, set it up, came back the next day, sat him in for like a 2-hour presentation and got paid. And the buzz down was what it was. Once we got paid, the buzz down was $4,000. Once I seen that it paid and it was as real as the nose on my face, that was it for me. Like, I jumped ship, I left the whole fiber optic industry, and then I just called all my friends. I'm like, "Guess what? Like, we're gonna be rich. Like, instead of making $200 a sale, $300, we can make 4,000. Well, I had to make a cut, so I'm like, $2,000 a sale. We can make $2,000 a sale. Oh my gosh!" And then no, that was it, man. Just started recruiting everybody, and that was the origin of me jumping into solar. So I did that, and once I took this EPC program in 2014, started going out and I guess knocking doors. And it was different because you realize being a salesperson and being a business person is not one and the same. So I went from being like a closer, opener, setter closer with one org, and then like a business owner, because they gave me an EPC. And I was out there in short, drowning in a spoon of water. Like, I was just like, even though I was the best over here, when I came over here and I had made that sale, it was like, I'm not gonna lie, man, like, got that first sale, but I came into the space and I was going out there and I was bricking. Like, I was brick. I just couldn't figure it out. And I think part of it was I was knocking on the door, and at the time, this is 2014, the technology wasn't up to par yet. It was a situation where you sell a deal, right? And then you sell the site survey. So you have to pay out of pocket for the site survey. You go knock on the door. "Hey, how you doing? My name is Brandon. We want to rent your roof out, etc." Like, there's a cheaper way to buy power. I just got to get somebody to come measure the roof, see if you get a good, to see if you get enough sun. So we would sell the appointment, then pay $200 for the site survey. get the site survey done, and then go back and sell the deal. So there wasn't this open close model at the door yet. Aurora wasn't around. Um, Everbright wasn't around, formerly known as Sidon. The technology wasn't really there to really like have us open and close deals at the door. And that's what I was used to. So I was out there just getting cooked, trying to do everything at the door, not getting sales. It was very hard to make money. And so what I ended up doing was, after I see my bank account start to deplete, because I was really, really, really fighting for it, I brought all my friends over. And imagine you bring all your friends over. You bring everybody over because you seen that first deal pop. And you're kind of getting beat up. You're trying to live two lives. You're like, yeah, let's do it. And then, but you're you're kind of like on one side, you're like, let's do it. But like the confidence is crushing you because you're having a hard time and you're really fighting for it. So I'm like, man, when somebody's doing better than you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're better than you. It means that they're doing something different. So
Right.
what I did was a few of my buddies worked at Solar City. And I'm like, man, there's no way this dude is better than me. Like, it's a guy that used to work with me, but he was out here closing 10, 15 deals a month. I'm like, there's just no way. And so I ended up taking a job. So I ended up tabling. I kept my organization like as is, was cooking, had my teams over there. But I actually took a job with Solar City to see what they were doing differently. And it was simple. They just really, like, instead of me trying to do everything at once, open and close the deal, they had a setter closer model and they had a really strong proposal. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty much it. Like, so they had a setter closer model and they had a really strong proposal system. So we signed a couple of jobs. We did Jason Derulo. We did Drake. We did a couple of cool jobs. Like,
Wow.
yeah, bro, it was crazy. So after these jobs, I'm like, man. And then, of course, they were in the Home Depots at the time. So I'm like, you know what? All we got to do is run setter closer model, create some good incentives, and use some of the sauce that they had over here. Took that sauce. I ended up quitting the job. Took some of the sauce that I learned, poured it into my company, and then from there, we started booming like Metro.
Wow.
And then, yeah, and then I realized like the CEO says there's a few things I learned along the way. The CEO says this is what I want to do. The COO says this is how we can get it done, and the CFO says how can we afford it. So when you're a startup and you're launching your business, you almost have to play an alter ego scenario. So I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to get it done. This is how we can afford it. But if you're the triuna, sometimes it becomes a conflict of interest, like in your own, you start to bottleneck yourself. So at that time, once we got the sauce from Solar City, brought some good leaders in, started delegating those roles. Like, okay, I want you to play this role. You play offense, right? You play defense, and you play special teams, or you play finance teams. Once we were able to delineate and create these strong leaders and give them instructions, it was over with. So that was pretty much the start of my like journey into solar, being able to scale into solar, figuring out what didn't work and what started to work, and adding people into the space to like really get some momentum. And at that point, we started just really just scaling, 3 million, 7 million, 8 million, 18, then all the way to 30 million.
Wow. Wow, that's sick, man. Yeah, and I love what you said about like you're struggling at first and then you decided you know what, I need to go learn from people that are crushing, go take a step down, go work with the Solar City guys. Because I've seen so many instances of that in solar where people just want to go off and start their own like sales orgs and all that, start their own dealer, but then they've never really had any results themselves. They've never learned from guys that are producing at a high level. And I think that's what's caused so many people to like come in and out of solar, is because you get this person that's like, oh, you know what? Why am I going to go have a company take like a cut on me? I'm just going to go start my own sales org, when they've never like done that much themselves. But I think it's so important for guys to just have kind of a moment like you went through and go learn from guys that are producing at a high level, and maybe humble yourself a little bit. Be okay with making maybe a little bit less on a deal, or knowing that leaders are going to take a cut on you, so you have the opportunity to learn. And then, yeah, it's like maybe when you learn and actually get some results, then maybe you can consider doing something like that. But was that hard for you? I mean, having to kind of like humble yourself and go to Solar City and learn from those guys instead of just like keep doing what you're doing. Was that hard for you?
Yes, no, and maybe. And the reason why I say that is, and that's not, it's like it was hard. Well, one of my team and my core group, they understood the mission. It was like, hey, listen, like I'm gonna have to take a sabbatical. You guys hold it down. I'm gonna be over here going out on a conquest to make the organization strong. So it was communication. Two, I did feel like, man, I'm the boss. I'm the quarterback. I'm Tom Brady, but I'm not playing like Brady boy. Like like am I this? You start to question yourself. Like, man, am I good enough? Like you start to anti DJ Khaled yourself. I'm not smart. I'm not beautiful. I'm not good. I'm not like you start to talk to yourself in a way where it becomes like you become like your own critic, and they say your mind is like a dangerous neighborhood. You shouldn't go in there alone. But I think ultimately, like when you have people that depend on you, like my family depended on me at the time, and it was just like, man, like I don't even care. Like I know what I'm capable of. Like I know how much revenue. I know I'm him. Like accepting that you're him, and also realizing like if you exalt yourself, sometimes you get humbled, and if you humble yourself, you get exalted. And so I was like, let me humble myself because my ego is not my amigo. And I know these cliche idioms, but I had to tell these things to myself, like, hey, bro, your ego's not your amigo. Like, like I had to
That's
tell
good.
these things to myself along the way, right? To make sure that like like I could go figure out a way to learn, like to get better. And I just kept on telling myself, okay, Elon's behind this. Elon owns, Solar City. Like this is his cousin's company. He's a heavyweight. Come on, like SpaceX. Like go learn something from some guys that are crushing it. And I was like, yeah, even if I take a pay cut, I realize that 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Kind of what you're saying is just like,
Yeah.
hey, you can have the best deal in the world, but if you're not cashing it out, it doesn't even matter. The numbers doesn't matter. The EPC doesn't matter. It's your ability to be able to cash out whatever deal you have at hand. So, yeah, in short, taking that job was humbling. And then I started looking at my family. I was like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. But I put like a number, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be here for 3 months max. But I'm going to really, really, really in 3 months be a student, figure out and learn as much as I possibly can, be a studious, and that's it. And just be like, you let somebody else be the sensei. And along the way,
Yeah.
I didn't even tell nobody. I told my mentor that I had a company. And it was funny because after I left Solar City, my guy who was the one who got me the Drake lead that we went to go crush is the late Mike Cairo, rest in peace. But his he ended up crushing some solar deals for me. Like, so pretty much the guy that mentored me, that shepherded me, that I just sat back, didn't do anything, and didn't beat on my chest and say, oh, I got my own play. I got my own solar company. Come get some more money. One, I never took a lead. I never took anything from Solar City. I believe if you're faithful with another man's, God to give you your own. So was very, very, very loyal to what I learned over there. And then when I left, I told him, I was like, hey, man, Mike, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I have another thing that I've been doing over here. I'm over here. He gave me his blessing. So when I left, he actually would run leads for me, like in his spare time and would make money. So he had his secure corporate position with Solar City. And then he would, like, when he wanted the big dollars, he would jump over here and switch hit and close some deals for me and knock them down. And he would also take like an advisory and consultant role. So good things came out of it. Tying back into what you're saying, it was humbling. But if you can humble yourself, like you'll get exalted. Like if you can find your way to do things that nobody would ever do. And I didn't talk about this earlier, but my first job was Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm not gonna lie, I was the rat. I used to be in there dancing. No, for real, I was in there dancing, go Chucky, go Chucky. But when I wasn't in the suit, guess what? I was bed knobs and broomsticks. I was literally sweeping the floors, taking out the trash, getting pizza juice all over. It was the worst job ever, man. I'm like, how could they do this to a 16-year-old kid? Like they would, oh my, it was the worst job ever. I would come in smelling like pizza dough and Sprite. It was just bad. But like, go Chucky. It was like in that little moment of being Chucky, it was one of those things where I got recognized and I got elevated. And so it's the same thing here. You door knock, you do the things that nobody wants to do, you're gonna recognize and get elevated. You go work for somebody, and learn and help them grow, right? Guess what? You're gonna be recognized and you're gonna grow. All these things come to fruition if you do the right things.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, and I respect for you working at Chuck E. Cheese, man. I got 3 kids, and we take them there probably like once a month. And yeah, these kids wreck that place, man. I mean, we try to clean up after them, but pizza everywhere. It's like
Pizza everywhere,
kids running
salad
it.
bar,
So yeah,
chicken, man,
yeah.
cotton candy. I know how to make
So,
cotton candy. That's kind of cool. I should
oh
make cotton
wow,
candy for my
yeah,
kids. I would appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. There you go. It's a good skill to have right there. But that's cool. So I gotta ask you about the Drake lead, man. How was that? So did you personally like go in, and most of those guys have like, I don't know, someone managing their
Yeah.
homes and stuff like that
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen. But did you?
No, we didn't talk to Drizzy. It was his manager, it was his guy, but it was cool,
Okay.
man. It was just like it was good for the books, right? To tell everybody that you were able to sign up Drake's
Yeah.
property, and from it we ended up getting Jason Derulo, and then
Wow.
we ended up getting Trey Songz as well. We almost got Chris Brown. So it was like when you get into that circle, you just get
Wow.
like the multiple leads. So yeah, we worked with his team and his management, but it was the coolest thing ever, man. So and it was like a 45 kW system. So it was, you know,
Wow.
it was a 45 killy, 45. So it
Yeah.
was
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy, man. But
That's
what a
awesome. So
life,
you
right?
just
Go ahead.
yeah, I know. Someday goals. So did you actually like sit down with his manager and stuff, and you had to like sell him basically,
Yeah.
and he had to go back to him, or
Yeah, so it was me and my mentor, the guy, his name is Mike Cairo. We just sat down with his manager, went back and forth. It was like a three touch, right? Gave him the numbers,
okay,
and he was like, "Yeah,
yeah,
let's do it." It was clean, it was smooth, no batteries, but it was just crazy, man, to see like a lot of these artists, they were forward thinking, like they wanted to do it. And I think the op came up like the guy went to the Home Depot. The guy went to the Home Depot in West Hills. Went to the Home Depot in West Hills, and off of
okay,
like Fallbrook. So it was like it was a random lead that came in, and then it just morphed into this big opportunity to sell solar to a heavyweight. So it's
wow,
amazing.
yeah, that's cool.
And
It's a
then
cool story.
Trey Songz was a bit different. They were connected, but I mean, he's also an artist. But I will work out at the gym during the pandemic. We turned the pandemic into a bandemic, right? So during the pandemic, we were
Yeah,
working out at the gym, and I guess being in sales, like knocking on doors, just like you're hunting, right? So you're never afraid to go talk to people. It's not
yeah,
like let me get a picture. It's like, yo, and you start kind of like you open up, and then he's like, "Hey, real quick, did you guys get solar? You guys don't have solar yet." But like being able to have this disposition, and we would have these shirts that look really, really, really cool. So like they were marketing shirts when we were in there. But oh yeah, we got a solar company. We'll give it away. We'll pretty much give it away, like and then we'll get in there and then we'll just sell them or give them like a lease or a PPA. So it's kind of cool, man, to be able to connect with certain people, being able to have that elevator pitch, because when you do talk to somebody and you have 15 seconds to like express who you are, and they got everybody in front of them, how do you do it? What do you say? So it was a super cool opportunity along the way.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember my first company that I worked for. I don't know how they did this. I think there's some like places where you can basically pay for celebrity testimonials or something like that. So they somehow got a testimonial from Mr. Wonderful, the Shark Tank guy, Kevin O'Leary, of him like reviewing our solar company. And it actually worked pretty well because we had his testimonial. We'd go to all our appointments. We'd show, hey, I don't know if you guys know Shark Tank, but he's actually super happy with our program. And then we'd show him it, and people would get excited. And that's funny how it works. But I was just thinking, man, it'd be cool if like, I don't know, you worked out a deal where Drake gave you like a personal testimonial, and I don't know, gave him a discount on the panels or something like that. But
It's time to tap
I
back
don't know.
in. Like, hey, look, Drizzy, you still getting a
Uh,
zero bill, right? Your bill is still low, right? Are you happy with the
yeah,
services? Like, you're still offset, no Migos. Like, it's time to reach
yeah,
out and check on the service and be like, all right, Drizzy, this is probably the best time right now. Like, Drizzy, help. Like, let's help each other. Like,
yeah,
you're right, man.
yeah. So we'll have to figure that out for the next celebrity opportunity, getting a
The
testimonial or
next
something.
podcast is going to be, hey, Drizzy, say what's up to Drizzy. Hey, everybody. He's going to do his
Yeah,
thing. Make a solar mixtape. Make a solar
yeah,
mixtape. 10 tracks on why to go solar. That'd be kind of cool.
yeah. That'd be fire. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I love it. Yeah, but no, that's awesome. So, yeah, so it sounds like things started picking up after that. You went to Solar City. So 3 months, you said. Then you brought it back to your team, and I know you guys are pretty involved in. You were talking about online marketing, so it sounds like you got a team of door knockers, online marketing. So how much of what you do, Brandon, is it like a certain percentage knocking doors for those leads versus online marketing, or what does that look like right now in your business?
So right now it's like 70-30. 70% of our deals that we close are still from the good old fashioned door knocking team. We walk it, talk it, knock it. Walk it, talk it, knock it. Like Migos, we believe that knocking
Yeah.
doors is where we build our leadership out. Like, so the people that run our offices or our market directors that we bring in to making closers or running teams, we believe that the grit that comes with that comes from the doors. The doors will almost like let you live 1,000 lives in 1 year. So we believe in that heavily. However, just to kind of fast forward, so did Solar City, started growing the organization, started making money, like just as an EPC, as a sales org, no install, nothing, just crushing it, man. Pretty much had like two or three installers that we would just give food to. Like we would throw this one, 15 deals a month. We'll throw this one like another 15. So we were doing anywhere between 20 and 30. Margins were good. Our model for our comp was fantastic. So we were cooking, making some pretty good money. And then we started to run into some jobs where jobs wouldn't, because our installers, they were using subcontractors. And so like some jobs wouldn't work out well, or we would have customers that would not be happy with the product. And try to be like humble and grateful, but sometimes your ambition, right? And it's okay to have ambition and want to grow. We were like, man, I think Infinity Wars just came out. We were like, man, we want all the Infinity Stones. We have the door Infinity Stone. We have the closing Infinity Stone. We want the installation Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
And so we were like, and then we were selling ourselves. It's not so we can have all the money, maybe. Then he was like, no, we want to do that just so we can have control. We don't want an ornament sitting on that roof with no installs, or I'm sorry, with no PTO, no inspection. And, looking back at it now, we should have left like a little bit of grace in there to be like, you know what, like if 10% of our jobs or 5% of our jobs are underperforming, we understand that no one can be perfect, but by chasing it, you can become excellent. Like we just troubleshoot, we remove the bottlenecks, and then we find ways to move forward versus like when there's one mistake, I quit, you're gone, you're out, because we don't like it when it's done us. Like if we make a mistake with our downline or, people would just leave you. You're like, man, we've made millions of dollars together. We've done this together. And they're like, nope, you messed up. I'm never seeing you again. It's just like, dang, where's the loyalty at? So I think looking at it at hindsight, it's just like, I guess when somebody does something to me or that I don't like, I ask myself, instead of judging, I'm like, dang, do I have any of those qualities in me? Like, man, like they'll quit on you real quick, or they'll leave you real quick if you make a mistake. But am I like that? So it really helped my character grow, because I'm like, you know what, to be the leader that I want to be, and you got to remember this, the kingdom takes on the characteristics of the king. I had to learn to be a certain way. So in other words, got ambitious, found a way to get the license, because, they made it very difficult. It was always so hard to become an installer. Oh, you got to do this. I'm like, well, the smart man knows the rules, the wise man knows the exceptions. So I found a way to get my license, to incorporate, to get the relationship with all the big banks, right? Well, we use Sunlight Financial, Mosaic, and we had Pace, and we were killing Pace. Like we were one of the only groups killing Pace at this time. So because we started in Hero 2015, so we were crushing Pace. So we were crushing Pace. We were crushing loans with Sunlight, and then we had Mosaic. So at this time, we were just booming like Metro. And then we ascended to becoming the installer. And this was a different time for us. This took us to another level. It's like we were in first gear when we first started. We were like revving high, then went to Solar City, then got into second gear. Then we're like, all right, let's go into third gear. Got the Infinity Stone installation. And then the pandemic happened. So this is fast forward. Now it's 2020. So this is like started in 2014. Now it's 6 years later. 6 years later, tons of deals, tons of experience. Now it's like the pandemic happened, and they were like, mask on, no future. Like we can't go door knock, we can't do this. And it's funny, Grant Cardone had just had his 10X conference in Vegas at the time. Like right when, and I was supposed to go, it was either go to London or go to the 10X conference with Grant. So I went to this 10X conference with Grant, ran into some of my OGs, my boys that were knocking doors with me back in the other company. And they were like, oh, you still knock doors? He was like, why don't you go virtual door knocker? And it was kind of that whole nostalgic Doctor Strange experience. Like, you still sell solar? Solar's the devil. But it's like, oh, you still door knock? Why don't you virtually door knocking? I was like, oh, man, I know what this feels like. I'm like, okay. He was like, okay, well, I'm going to charge you 10 bends. I'm going to show you how to run ads, like how to do your ad copy, how to do your creative, how to create a high ticket offer, how to do your back end, how you do. I'm like, all right, 10 grand is a lot of money. But I'm like, all right, well, I do know this: where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So it was almost one of those situations like, if you get something given to you, you don't really respect it. You're like, if you get a
Yeah.
car, a nice car that's given to you, you got Big Mac wrappers everywhere, etc. But if you save your money from Chuck E. Cheese and you go buy '89 Chevy Blazer, like I did, that Blazer is clean. Like, you don't touch it, you
Yeah.
can't eat in the car. So I realized, I'm like, man, if I put my money into it, I'd potentially like really respect the asset, and that's what happened. So I spent the money, invested into into myself, and when I did that, man, was able to learn something that was really, in school, you're like, man, this isn't gonna pay off. Like, why am I doing this? Like, this is stupid. But all my
Yeah.
elective classes, Photoshop, designing, graphic, all the stuff that I learned in high school, being creative, it really, like, for the first time in forever, no Frozen, like everything came together. Like, it was like, whoa, I could use Canva for this, I could use Photoshop for this. I could take some of the stuff that I would say at the door and kind of morph it into a digital footprint and throw it online. And then we created these crazy offers that converted very, very, very well. So at the time, we were creating leads, meme-based ads, high ticket or high value offers. Like an example would be go solar, get a 5,000 credit towards your roof. Go solar, get an EV charger. Right, like we would just say things. It wasn't just solar only, but we would create these high value offers, make them really pretty. We would get $10 leads, $15 leads, sometimes even $8 leads, and from there it was just like, if you wanted to double the production, you double the budget. And of course, there was strategy involved. And so in 2020, they shut down door to door, and at this time, we were averaging in our LA market, we were doing about $8 to $9 million in revenue. Once door to door stopped, it was like, oh my gosh, like, it's over. Like, what are we gonna do? So then we end up pivoting to leads, like to Meta, and we end up doing like 6.5 million. So like that whole time we were doing so we were able to almost like not miss a beat from door to door to go into Meta, and then we would run the ads, we would book the appointments, and we would dispatch our closers. And then what happened was, once masks were off and the mandates went away, we have built and created a new opportunity generating engine. So we brought door to door back. We launched it with full force, and then we brought in our Meta, and so that was it. So that's how we kind of brought the two together, and we were able to just hit critical mass. And so we've always kept like a door knocking team, which is always in a sense free. I mean, you pay in motivation. You kind of got to rizz up your reps, or we don't call it rizzing, we call it bizzing. You got to biz them up. So you don't have to pay for it, versus going over here, you got to pay for it. So it's just like, do I want to biz them up, get them tight, get them dope on this side, give them the sauce, or do I want to pay? And so it was always kind of like, how do you want to do it? But I mean, right now where we are is we have 70% of our revenue coming in from door knocking, 30% coming in from digital marketing. But we still do cook for other clients. We have other clients that do not have door knocking teams, that we can't like put reps on their team. So what we do is we just pretty much assign them virtual door knockers, and we let them buy leads from us, and we either do retainer deals, or we do like a JV deal where we'll actually give them leads. They're running through our EPC, and then we just do a profit share on the back end. So we get really creative with our modeling to make sure that we leave no stone unturned, and everybody has an opportunity to generate leads. And that name of that group is called Leadfinity. So that's our lead generation company. We do branding, leads, appointments, one-to-many, one-to-one type of programs, all types of assets to help solar companies grow their business.
Yeah, love it, dude. And well, it's impressive you have so many different businesses going. Like a lot of people can't even handle doing the sales, let alone trying to do online leads, let alone having an EPC. So I mean, yeah, it's congrats on your success doing all of them, because it's not easy. Having the time to run all that. Yeah.
It isn't. And it's like everybody has a certain amount of water, right? So whatever plant you water grows. So like if you have 16 plants in a garden and you only have 1 gallon of water, you're trying to water all 16, you will never see growth on anything. So you got to choose which plants to water. So I feel like, but But I guess the solution to that is borrowing like water from other people. So like if you only have your own jug, so you got to bring in good JVs and good partners to help you run your other divisions and silo very, very, very uniquely and be structured. Because it is hard to walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. Because you can just find yourself
Yeah.
on this cycle for 5 years. Like, man, I have no results. It's because you didn't lock in. You're playing Fortnite, Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat. You're playing everything, man. You just got to stick to one game and get used to the controller, man, so you can finish them and
Yeah.
do a fatality. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Man, you crush it with the analogies, man. You need
Man,
to be
all right.
like a
Shout out to
rapper or
Drizzy.
something. Yeah.
No, it's funny. Like, when I was in school, I went to the prestigious community college of Southern Nevada. So I didn't even, bro, like, it was bad, man. I just couldn't get into school. And then I was like, man, how am I going to compete with these Ivy League guys? But I read this book and it says the way you compete is like idioms, like parable type of talking. So you got this Harvard guy who's killing it, crushing in English, but you're going to be able to close deals by using idioms. I'm like, all right, let me try
Yeah.
it. So you can, but there's a limit to it, right? If you learn that and you incorporate that into your natural language, man, you'll crush it. Certainly crush some deals. Fact sales and story
Yeah.
sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can tell you. It's the same thing that what's his face that does like the spray, the window cleaner guy.
Kenny Brooks.
You've seen some of his
Yeah.
video. Yeah, Kenny Brooks.
Honey,
Yeah.
man. I say controller man. He was like, I was like, "What's up?" Kenny's cool, man. I was watching Kenny a long time ago, but
Yeah.
he's funny. He's same
Yeah.
thing. Like I would use, like it's almost like when you grow up, right? You have to take your attributes and turn those into skills, and those skills
Yeah.
will help you pay bills. So, like if you're funny, like if you were the guy that was always laughing your way into the dates, or laughing your way into like not getting a C on the test, like I will always make my teacher laugh. Like to be able to give me a better grade. I feel like in sales, it's the same thing. I've laughed my way into so many deals. I laughed my way into so many negotiations. So Kenny, he has that joking comedy element to sales, and it works very, very well for him.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. Well, I wanted to ask you, Brandon. So with the EPC side, so many people that just can't do that because it's like we figure out the sales, but then we try to launch a company that can do everything. I'm even with my company right now. They've been trying to do their own installs now for a couple years, and it's come a long ways, but there's still things that they just haven't figured out. Going from like a sales org now trying to do their own installs. For example, it's like their timeline is still longer than most of all the EPC partners we use. And so it's something we've told them. It's like, hey, look, if you guys want us to use the installs, if you want us to install directly with you, it's like we need to figure out how to get these timelines quicker. We need to figure out a smoother process. We need to cut down on, like welcome call times. We can't be sitting on hold for 20 minutes to try to do a welcome call with your team after we close the deal. It's like stuff like that. So how was it? Yeah, tell me about that experience. How was it going from being a sales org to also doing your own? I don't know how long you guys have been doing your own internal installs now, but yeah, what was that transition like? And I don't know, maybe some lessons or maybe some struggles you had. Tell us about that.
Sure. Yeah, so we've been doing installs since 2018. So from 2014 to 2018 was just jumper. From 2018 to 2022 doing installs, and then from 2022 to now is doing installs the right way, right? The best way.
Yeah.
And I also believe that, what is it like? You can't have, let's talk about this meeting. You can't have even though this podcast is feel like it's going great, but you can't be you can't be a good podcaster until you've been a bad one, and you can't be a great one until you've been a good one. So you can't be a good sales rep until you've been a bad one. You can't be a great one until you've been a good one. So it's the idea of like failing first, but also like not to the point of death. Like, right, you don't want to die. You don't want to get crucified unless you can resurrect. Not everybody can do that. So I think that in the sense is what you're saying, you want to learn from others. So one thing that we've seen when you're transitioning to first off, is your why. Why do you want to transition? Is it the money? Is it to have more money? Is it to have more speed and have more control? Because to be honest with you, man, like being on the service side of the business, it's a lot of liability, and the money is in the sales org. Like we don't make no money. Like, I mean, yeah, we make money. I mean, if you're a good salesor, you become a service guy. You can negotiate with your distributors. You can, negotiate with your installers, and But if you want to be competitive, you have to pay well because good stuff isn't cheap and cheap stuff isn't good. But I mean, it's usually single digit margin as a service company. So the only time you're really going to be solid and do very well is if you come in with volume. Like you find some players that want to bring jobs and bring business to you and give you like a volume partition. But one is this: you so ask yourself the question, why do I want to become an installer? Sometimes it's ego. Like I want to be like, I don't want to be Skyfall Solar and then have House Builder pull up because they're gonna be like, oh, I thought I did business with you. Why is this company? It's like 4 or 5 different companies. There's a company's name on the contract. There's a company's name on the shirt. There's a company here. Like, so is it like what you're telling your? Is it more of a vanity thing? And those things are fixable. You just tell your installers you want them to wear your shirts. You can just figure that out. Like that's the way to do it. If you want to look good, or go get a magnet. Go get a magnet and put it on the side of the truck. Like, you know what? Go get you. Say, look, on my jobs, I need you to go ahead and slap this magnet on the side of the truck so people think it's my business, and rock these shirts up there because I'm going to have a camera team up there. So if it's vanity, just do it that way. You can adjust that issue, especially if the installer is good.
Yeah.
Two, I would say you can always work backwards. You can always negotiate. If you bring value and you make yourself indisposable, like your installers are always going to be willing to redo a deal with you and do a deal that makes sense. Not so you got to shake them down like every 10 deals. Okay, cool. Can you drop me 5 cents? Okay, cool. Like, but talk to them, build a relationship, and try to find a way to not have the liability, right? And be able to get costs because you bring that value, right? And three, if it's just like, no, my ambition is like, I want to be, like I want to be fully integrated. I want to be vertically integrated. I want to control everything. Then yes, what you want to do is find somebody who has some type of service experience. If it's not in solar, they understand the service world because they're two different types of people. It's like sales guys are offense, service guys are defense, right? So you got to find somebody, preferably who's in solar, maybe potentially from a fallen company, and bring them in with you and have them rock with you. Two, what I'll say is you have to know your fixed costs, your variable costs, and your mixed costs. Right, this is really important. So you need to know what's going to be my fixed costs. You know, Supplies or office space or salaries. My variable costs, like how much is it with this distributor? How much is it if I go direct? And then kind of a formula of having your mixed costs so you can really see what your margin is because. A lot of people, let's just say if you give a low red line, let's just say some people can afford to give a 229 red line, which, we can help you guys out. We give those out all day, or 219s, or we give those out all day to our partners. But like, if you can't afford to do that, meaning if you know that you don't really do a great job of installations and because you missed inspections, if you know that you use inferior equipment, you're going to have a service call in, let's just call it 15 months, right? That's going to cost you X amount of dollars. So even though it may seem like you're in the black, when month 16 hits, you're actually in the red because you went too low on the red line because you didn't count your costs. So you have to know these numbers, right? Because really just charging 20 cents more, which a lot of companies are at 240, 250 EPCs, is because that's a safe space for them to be where, hey, you know what? I could afford to make a boo-boo or have a mistake and still be solvent and not go out of business. If I have an issue 15 or 16 months down the line and, have the integrity to go fix that service call, even though the sales rep is out here long gone, all the revenue went out to them. And even if they mismanage expectations, you have to be able to do math. So I guess in short, to answer your question is variable costs, fixed costs, mixed costs, know your numbers, know your costs, know your profit model, know what you can really sell it for, being able to create systems and modeling your comp to make it work. And then you want to recruit the guys. Like, I mean, one of our biggest things is with the solar boys, and we're going to talk about that in a bit, but we just recruit everybody. Our one-liner is like, sell solar, go to the NBA. Like, what? They're like, bro, if you want to make money like a ball player, sell solar, go to the NBA. That's kind of our one-liner that we use. Well, when we were recruiting installers, guess what? We're at the CED warehouse. Like, and I hate poaching, man, because I hate when people poach my people. But like, some people are unhappy. Some people like there's people there. You just go to the CED warehouse. And we're sales guys, so we got the mouthpiece. You just start talking to them. Oh yeah, man, I'm new at this and that. Like, there's a lot of information that you can get from these people, and then bring them on. And just want to hire good people, give them some opportunities, have somebody oversee that, and crush it. But yeah, to zoom it all in, there is a formula. If you want to be a solid vid installer and you know what your why is, you just really want to be vertically integrated. One, make sure you have a good attorney. Make sure that you know how to structure your organization, structure your margin and your models. Get the licenses that you need, whether it's the General B or the C26 or whatever it is that you want. If you're going to do roofing, figure that out. Figure out how to get those. If you're going to go directly yourself, or if you want an RMO, right? We can help you guys with that. It's a lot easier because when I got into the game, they made it seem so hard to become an installer. I'm like, bro, no, the chat GPT wasn't even around. I was like, no, it's not. Like once I found out how easy it was to become an installer, I was like, what? Like, because at Chuck E. Cheese, nobody wants to open their Chuck E. Cheese. Nobody wants to say, I want to. But when you become a solar company and you're making all this money, you pull up in a McLaren, they're like, I want your job. Like, I want to be an installer. Like, there's that ambition, right? And it's okay. Like, it's okay. And you know what? Like, you never really own anything unless you give it away, right? You just want to figure out a way to really actually give it away, have them count the cost, and help them be successful and be solid along the process, setting people up with the right connections, showing them what to go. And then once you get into the game, this is the last piece of our advice, your project manager. This is really the Achilles heel in the game. You can have the best installers, but they just look at plans and just follow instructions. They're like Fix It Felix, right? But like your project manager, that is the holy grail of everything. So meaning they know the utilities, the AHJs, they know the timelines, they know the rules, the exceptions, they know how to pull permits. They have relationships with people that can do plans. But I mean, what we've been able to do and what's really worked well for our business and for others is having a dynamite project manager. And that's where the focus needs to be at. You want to look for not the installer, not the subs, not the crews. If you want to have a solid bid construction company, make sure you have a dynamic project manager, and they're out there. They work for the big companies. They know how to do things the right way. You pay them very well, and then you'll have a successful installation organization. I know that was a mouthful, but just wanted to kind of give you.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah, it's true. So important. I mean, I've had some EPCs where they had just, I don't know what was going on, but either project manager was bad or they just didn't have communication set up correctly. And yeah, it's like they could have the best install crew in the world, but when you're losing 3 accounts due to poor communication or poorly managed accounts, it's like you never get a chance to see the install team even do their work. So I agree. Super important to have a solid communication, project management, and get that set up. And hopefully working well between the sales reps to communicate with the customer. But yeah, I mean, last question on that, Brandon. Like, how do you guys? I know you do jobs for other sales orgs. So how do you prevent maybe like other sales reps going out and setting false expectations? And I know you talked about maybe including that sometimes there are going to be things that were expectations that weren't portrayed correctly. But how do you communicate that to maybe with like sales partners? Hey, make sure that you're like talking about, do you guys have like a deal checklist or something you're doing to make sure that these things were explained correctly, that you're not going and then the customer thought it was something completely different, or they thought the payment was totally different? What do you guys do to avoid that with like issues between the sales rep and maybe the homeowner not being on the same page?
Yeah, no, it's that's a great question, man. I mean, when you're the installer and you want to bring in volume and you have 20, 30 deals coming in from your sales partners, you want to have an SOP, a standard operating procedure, to be able to like cross all the T's and dot all the I's. Really just a checklist. Like, it's just as simple as that, right? Having a checklist at each milestone. I mean, for starters, like when we bring a partner on, we do a partner training, right? It's very, very, very important, right? To make sure that because there's just general natural language that everybody knows, but there's also specifics. It's like you can go eat chicken anywhere, right? But if you go to a place on Rodeo, they season it a certain way versus El Pollo Loco. So you want to make sure they understand, and they accept and they embrace and they enjoy the way you do business and understand why you do business. And run up to some type of school or some type of learning platform, and you want them to kind of possibly get certified with your group so they can sign off and say, we understand, we accept what's going on. Kind of the same way if you get onboarded with a finance company or if you get onboarded with this, they make you, before you have access to the portal, you have to have some type of, there has to be an alignment, a mesh alignment. And
Yeah.
part of that is process flow. Like, this is how we do business. And when you do that, you don't want it to be so far obtuse from what they're always doing. Because sales guys are like, they're kind of rebels. Oh, man, I've been doing it this way all my whole life. You want me to start doing this? So you want to kind of meet them in the middle and have like the way of doing stuff that makes sense, and kind of the WIFM, the WIIFM. What's in it for me? What's in it for you? What's in it for
Okay.
your customers? So you have to have that
Yeah.
WIFM. This is what's in it for you. You're going to get more referrals. This is what's in it for your customers. They're going to give you, going to be happy. This was in it for us. We can install your job. So create that WIFM system. What's in it for whoever,
Yeah.
alongside paired with like some type of training academy, and then yes, the project management. Again, we have two types of project managers. We have a back facing project manager that's actually, their job is to focus on the jobs and the speed, concierge, welcome calls, site surveys, client communication, kind of pre-construction and post-construction silos. And then we have a front-facing project manager, but we call him an account manager, that actually
Mm.
talks to the reps and or the dealers. And they pretty much, like, they're twins, right? The back end manager talks and does all the behind the scenes, and the other twin is the account manager. They focus on the sales reps and the dealers, including but not limited to making sure that all the transparency is there from their dashboards. Because that's another thing too. Like, how do I know where my job is at? Like, how do I know what's really going on? Is there a way, like an on-demand system, where I could look to see what's going on with my jobs, or what's like the notes? Like, how transparent is that? Because if I can see it, I can believe it. So, but between communication, transparency, and expectations, yeah, we're able to really communicate with our partners, and for the most part, get really a good result. And then we have like because again, when you bring in sales partners, they may have reps that, like, now with the recheck and HISs, it's a little different, right? Everybody,
Yeah.
they're walking and moving a bit differently now. But like, when there is an issue, so after a sale is done, we do an internal welcome call just to make sure everything is clear. I know it's like, man, another welcome call. Like, they'll do the welcome call with GoodLeap or with Infin or whoever on, before they sign docs. But after we close the deal, we call it a perfect packet. Once they submit the perfect packet, we do a welcome call just to go over expectations, to make sure there's nothing like suspicious. And then, like, if so, we'll flag it. Then we just keep it pushing. So, but for the most part,
Yeah.
those are really the elements that we use to make certain that we set expectations right for our dealers and our partners. Just communication, technology, and a reward, some type of reward system for doing really great work.
Yeah. Yeah, love that. So good. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's gotten a little bit easier, I think, where, especially in California, there's more, I guess, regulation. You got to have the license, you got to have the whole recheck thing. They verify you way more than it was in the past. I mean, I remember back when I started in 2016, it happened all the time where you hear of reps selling like, 50% offsets, and then a customer thought they're getting 100% offset, and just like selling extremely high stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's good in a way. You don't hear way less of that, but it's on us to make sure we're selling clean deals and doing things the right way, because it's like every time things like this happen, it just makes our job harder. And you remember when they first introduced the consumer protection guide in California. It's like, I remember half our team thought the sales were going to be done for you. Like, you're telling me we got to have the customer sign a form that says they need to get 3 quotes and says they need to really think
Yeah.
about the decision before signing anything. And people were freaking out, losing their minds. But I think, it made the weak ones quit, and then the strong ones got stronger. And it's like, we know how to sell with that and set the proper expectations. So, yeah, good stuff, man. But yeah, before we wrap, I want to be respectful of your time. No, we're getting close to an hour mark here, but before we wrap up, Brandon, and we haven't really talked about it yet. So, Solar Boy, that's kind of like, I guess, the third, I guess you'd
Yep.
say business. But tell what Solar Boy is all about. You got the Solar Boys, Solar Girls. What's that all about with your
Yeah.
team? And yeah, what are you guys about as an organization?
Yeah. No, it's all good, man. So that's a great question. So yeah, we were House Builders is our EPC, and where we sell solar and we do construction at for anybody, right? Whether you want to join us directly or you want to come in and just partner with us and do a JV as a dealer, and we'll train you. Very, very similar to what you said. Like regardless of which side you go on, it's like it's like a lot of people go to the Air Force to get trained, right? As a pilot, but then they go fly private for Grant Cardone. So house builder is kind of in a sense what we do there. Our lead division, that's what we do for whoever. But Solar Boys is it's different. It's unique, right? So the name Solar Boy that they gave me. I was like, man, that's kind of like Batman, And it's just like, well, how do we create like a Justice League, or how do we create like a Solar League? I'm like, man, no big. So it's really more of an alter ego. But the first thing is like the solar culture and like the lifestyle brand, right? So I feel like you don't have like real estate agents are proud to be realtors. They're like, oh man, I'm a realtor. Like this is my RE number. Check. They have it on an Instagram tag. Solar was given kind of a bad rep initially, but like Solar Boys has a ring to it, and it's almost like how do you compete with some of these? If you're in solar, how do you? If you're not with like Sunrun, or if you weren't with Tesla or some of these big companies, there's thousands of solar companies. What sets you apart? And I feel like it's really like the story, right? It's the story. And so Solar Boys is designed to kind of create this culture, like this solar culture and lifestyle movement, and we're doing that through, a ton of digital marketing, brand marketing. Even you guys have seen Zane Jan. Like Zane Jan, what he did was he runs ads, of course, to, he runs ads for all these solar companies. But initially in 2018, he ran ads on himself. He ran ads on his brand, right? Like that's how everybody figured out who he was. So instead of like selling to customers, he did B2B. So what we're doing is we're trying to get anybody who's in solar. It doesn't matter what level you're at, or if you're not in solar, like whether you're a setter, whether you're a closer, whether you're a dealer, whether you're an installer, we want to partner with you and give you something that you may not have. Like we have that missing infinity stone, right? And yeah, we got drip, like, because, we're in LA. We're like the fashion capital, I believe, of the West Coast. And so we got the drip, so you can work for this company and be busting the Solar Boys Letterman's jacket, and it's ubiquitous. It doesn't matter. It's like, okay, like, so something, like you might have a little extra sauce that we didn't get with this company. So it kind of creates that cycle. Another thing too, sales, recruiting, and energy. So like we want to directly and indirectly recruit people, meaning people that are not in solar. Like I have guys that are real estate agents and they bust the Solar Boy merch because it's dope. It's drip. You got Billionaire Boys Club. They're not billionaires and they're rocking. You got people rocking McLaren gear. They don't have McLarens. So there's so with the Solar Boy stuff, we get a lot of people to kind of adopt the brand and bring it in-house. And so, but yeah, no, in short, just to kind of wrap it all up, Solar Boys is a space where anybody in solar, including but not limited to, of course, our companies, but this is kind of the bridge, like I don't want to call it the United Nations of solar, but like this is the bridge where we just give out all type of free content. Like you get, information on how to be a setter. Like we'll show you how to run leads, and we won't charge you 10 grand to do it. We'll actually show you how to start your own EPC and give you the right thing. We'll show you how to close deals, and we'll show you how to swag up so you can bag up, right? We'll show you everything, and that's a part of what we do. And of course, we're still modeling it out, and we're going to be launching it in November. So November, we're going to really hit social media, and we're going to use Leadfinity to push it out. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of Solar Boys probably on the hard launch November 1st, man. But we're excited. We're excited. And we got some gear for you too, man. We're going to hook you up with some gear and some swag, some and we'll even we'll brand you up. You give us your logo, we'll brand you up, and it's going to be all green. You'll like it.
Sweet, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, man. We need help with our swag here, so maybe you have to rock some Solar Boy swag on the next podcast we do.
Sir, yes, sir, yes,
yeah,
sir.
Get geared up.
Solarpreneur, man. You invented swag. You left some swag on the table. I can see it, man. You got swag everywhere in there, man. We appreciate it.
I know. I need to up the game with the swag stuff. So yeah, well, that'll be exciting, bro. Can't wait to see what's coming. And yeah, I mean, sounds like you guys are having a lot of success in all three aspects of the business: growing the team, growing the EPC, and growing the Solar Boy, kind of the brand facing part of it as well. So I guess, speaking of that, if people want to connect more with you, Brandon, or follow the Solar Boy stuff, what's the best, maybe you can drop your Instagram, what's the best way to connect with you and find out more about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so you guys, if you guys want to lock in or anything, like it's all good. Like we're just here. We're trying to be like you in a lot of ways. We're all solopreneurs, but the way we would do it, just go to you can follow me. I'm Solar Boy Official, but also you can just go to the IG as Solar Boys. There's nothing posted on there yet. Right now it's light, but just follow Solar Boys, and then November 1st we're gonna launch. So you're gonna see all this stuff just start to pop up, probably even pre-November, and then shoot us a DM, tag, jump in, and whatever it is, however we can help, however we can support. Whether it's you're looking for a quick EPC in LA, we can install and clean with plans and permits in 10 to 15 days. And this is people are like, what the heck? What the hell? We really can. We have the market corner. We know and that's not everywhere. It's not in like I know Edison, PG&E. We use Solar Plus that, but we know exactly where to sell out to be able to get really quick installs. We also could give you really low baselines. We also could give you some games. So yeah, just tap in with Solar Boys Official, or just tap in with Solar Boy Official, and then we can get you guys hooked up. Or of course, tap in with the Solarpreneur.
That's right. That's right. Well, we will drop all those links in the show notes of the podcast. So thanks for dropping that. And yeah, we appreciate you coming on, Brandon. But last question before we wrap up, maybe to someone that's struggling, or maybe they're like you and I can't figure this out. Should I go join a bigger company, whatever? Do you have any final pieces of advice for maybe a rep out there that's struggling or maybe questioning if they want to continue in solar? What would you tell that rep?
Yeah, I would just say outlast everybody. Just like a lot of people have made it to the top just by outlasting everybody. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the funniest. Just outlast everybody. It's an endurance. It's an endurance game. And, I guess I'll just finish it with a quote, right? But everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody's willing to die first. And so, and death is painful in a lot of ways. Sometimes you may have death of a relationships because you're working all the time. You may not be able. You may lose your car. There may be a lot of different things, but at some point you're going to cross over, and when you cross over, you're never going to regret it. Like you might regret quitting and say, "Man, I wish I would have stayed in solar and figured it out." But you won't regret staying locked in and looking back and like, man, like the conquest and the journey in itself was all it was about. Because once you get the house, the McLaren, or this or that, or all these different things, you're like, man, like I've kind of already arrived. Like, but it was the journey that made everything. So that's it, man. Just outlast everybody.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, that's always how I've thought of myself. I've never been the most talented. Most of the time, I've never been the top rep, but I think you can probably say the same thing, Brandon. The reason we've been in this, you since 2014, me since 2016, is we just keep going. And yeah, even on days where we're getting our teeth kicked in, it's just the people that keep showing up. You're going to outlast people that are maybe more talented. Maybe they're having great months, but a lot of those people, if they don't keep showing up, then yeah, they're gonna phase out of this. So I think that's a really powerful secret. Yeah,
just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
That's right.
You gotta keep the story on. Just keep swimming, and also swim with bigger fish if you can. Right? So like being able to network, being able to jump, like have conversations with people, and be humble and ask questions. Right? Just ask questions. Ask questions. What you're doing, like. And I remember being in the house, when I was selling deals, and this will always work because I got this from Brian Tracy's book. It was The Power of Charm. And it says, just ask people 3 questions, 3 impactful questions. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what's the secret to raising kids? And they're like, this. And I'm like, okay. What's the secret to being married? Oh man, and then I always go back and I'll say, what would you go back and tell your 36-year-old self or your 37-year-old self? They're like, man, but just ask questions, and then they'll answer. And I feel like that would be an added addition to outlasting everybody. Outlast everybody, surround yourself with the right people, and ask the right questions. Almost like the way you prompt. You got to ask ChatGPT the right questions.
Yeah, that's it. It's true. So good. So good. Well, such good, so many nuggets you gave us today, Brandon, and hopefully everyone hits you up. Shows you some love on social media and all that. But yeah, man, can't wait to see what's next up for you, for your company, for your organization. And yeah, we'll have to hang out when you're here in San Diego, man. So hit
Yes,
me up. Just don't
sir.
be
Yes,
stealing my
sir.
deals.
Let's play some Fortnite. Let's do squads and let's get some dubs.
Yeah.
Dubs, let's make it
Let's do it,
work.
man.
Man, super
Let's
excited, man.
do it.
Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, guys, thanks for letting me jump on, and we'll see you guys on the other side. You're
All right. Peace.
all right,
Thanks, Brandon.
guys.